Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. Today, Hans is going to share the story about him training the vice president's dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Funny. I said, Hans, you got to share the story. It's so good. He told me this off camera. I mean, the picture is on your website. He thanked you.
Dan Quail.
Yeah. Dan Quail.
Dan Quail. He was the nicest guy, man. So you said, really.
Yeah. So you get a call. Just this was.
Yeah, I got a call. If I train dogs, people call me advertising. I think it was still Yellow Pages back then. Yeah. And
Dog World magazine,
but local for dog training.
Oh yeah, for local. Yeah.
And this girl asked me, if I train dogs and da. Mm-hmm. It was his daughter. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I made an appointment to come there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who she is.
Yeah.
It was just another person.
Yeah.
But they live in pretty upscale neighborhood in Phoenix. I'm not going to say where, right?
Why?
Because they still may live there. I want to keep their privacy. Yeah. And so I'm coming there, and it's a gated community, and the guys are carrying guns and stuff. I never seen gated community with guns.
Yeah.
Right. And the guys look like they mean business too.
Yeah, they were that.
And the guy, so this one guy, I mean, they kind of stood behind, kind of on the edges, and the security guy was just a regular security guy, but there were guys. Mm-hmm. And he says, "Where are you going?" So I gave him the address, and he said, "Oh," like that. And I said, "Whatever." And he says, he gave me directions and gave me a little map, make crossword to go. So I said, "Okay, here, okay, like that. All right, I find it." And he says, "You know where you're going, right? Who it is?" And I said, "No, I don't know. I'm training dog.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, to me, there was just another client, customer, whose dog I was gonna train, and so I came there, and it was a cul-de-sac. How do you say cul-de-sac?
Cul-de-sac? Yeah, cul-de-sac, yeah.
And there was nobody there. Obviously, those houses all look empty, which was kind of odd.
Yeah.
Then later on, I found out there's Secret Service in all of them. But, and so the whole cul-de-sac was empty except that one house, a really nice house. Mm-hmm. And so I ring the bell, and the girl opened the door. And I walk in, and I see all these high government type memorabilia, like the triangular folded flag and frame, and pictures of presidents, and it was kind of interesting. I still didn't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, here's Hans.
Right. And she didn't tell me. I think she introduced herself with some other name. Again, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
So we go through the house, and really nice house, and the mother was there, and I didn't know her, Even so, she's probably relatively famous. I didn't know her.
Yeah.
I don't know the wives of vice presidents.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit.
And so I still completely blissfully ignorant. I'm walking through the house, and we go in the backyard, and they have like a tennis court there, and we were going to train the dog. Obedience. It was a Labrador Retriever on that tennis court. Mm-hmm. And as I enter the back porch of the house, I look, and there is Dan Quail sitting there with some guy eating ice cream. You know, and just
You
like
take a double look like
that was the first time I realized what's going on, right?
right.
And I look at him like, wow, you know, and he looked at me and smiled. Oh,
maybe that's Dan Quail calling.
yeah,
he's hearing you.
Hold on, let me turn this off. And he smiled, right?
Yeah.
And look at me, and he saw my, you know, like surprise, and he says, "Yeah, there is no way who you're gonna run into these days, you know.
You never know who, right? You
never know who you're gonna run to these days." He said to me.
He kind of smiled.
That was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
The nicest guy, you know, shake my hand and all that, and I was really. It was,
You
you know.
did 10. I mean, you went back like.
Oh, I was there many times.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah.
you know, 10 lessons,
Yeah.
you know, and then her brother, you know, son of Dan Quail, he wanted to buy a dog, and I tried to sell him Shepherd, but he was stuck on the Bernese Mountain Dog, and eventually he got a Bernese Mountain Dog. So I tried to talk him out of it because they're short-lived.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I guess his dog lived pretty short time. It was kind of sad. Anyway, the funny part of all this was that I had this powder blue Bronco, and I got hit on the door with some idiot hit me. And so I found junkyard the door for it, and it was a 10. So, you know, and it had headers.
Yeah.
So it was really loud.
Yeah.
You know, I had it registered out of the county somewhere else, so I won't have to go through emission test back then. I used to drive through a parking lot, and it was so loud that the lights would turn off.
Wow.
There's a vibration.
Yeah.
You know, like this. And you could
So you pulling up to the vice president.
And some of the car's alarm went off, and I was going to grocery store. You know.
So after the first session, the second session, third, they knew that you were coming probably.
I had this horrible vehicle, you know. I'm talking to Vice President of the United States, and I'm driving this. Oh God! But that's all I had,
Whatever.
man. You know,
No, but
that's
it's
all
part
I
of the
had.
story.
And the thing was leaking oil, man. I mean, you stopped, and there was a puddle of $20 bill or bigger under it after an hour.
So what did you do with what happened?
So you know, I'm you know, I kind of back up into the drive, kind of make a K-turn and drove off.
Yeah.
And I could see when I backed up this puddle of the oil. I said, oh, shit, you know. And everything was pristine over there, right? I mean, pristine. You know, and so next week I'm coming back for another session, and you know what was the worst part of all that was they clean up that greasy spot. They clean it up. So I said, oh God, I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And so I found cardboard in the back of my truck, and when I parked, I just threw it on. Yeah, so that's me training dog for vice president.
Yeah, and the reason you have the picture, we're talking with Hans to try to, you know, project the picture, but and then that's how you get the picture in the sense he said.
Yeah, I asked him if he would give me a picture. He says, I will have one for you next week. So next week when I come, he just gave me a picture and wrote down I think the dog's name was Cassidy or something, something like that.
It's on the image.
Yeah, it says so there. I forgot. I mean, it's like a long time.
You trained a lot of dogs over the years. So
yeah.
Sometimes but
so that was interesting. Well, I train other people, famous people, dogs, baseball players. You know, there was this guy Devon White. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Yeah. And Mark McLemore. You know, I trained their dogs, protection, obedience, and so.
But I was telling Hans, I go, you know, Hans, you came with nothing, you know, to America, and if they would have told you like, hey, you know, you're gonna, you know, train the vice president.
I came to America with the idea that I'm gonna be bee farmer.
Oh,
I was gonna do bees.
Oh, okay.
I had everything ready for it, man.
Okay.
I even got a job in Czechoslovakia as a bee farmer. I mean,
I didn't know this.
No,
you never shared me that. Yeah, this is literally like the first time I heard. I know a fair amount of from Hans.
So, and so I know first thing I've done when I came to America,
Yeah.
I went to the store and see how much is
Jar of honey.
jar of honey,
Yeah.
And the way we did it back then in Czechoslovakia is that you take the honey away from the bees, but that's what they eat. So you cannot just take it away.
Yeah,
you
kill
gotta give
them. Yeah.
So we give them sugar water, and they can live well on sugar water. And so in end of the in a fall, we would spun the honey and we had to feed them the sugar water, and they turn the sugar water into honey, but it shouldn't be sold now. Like China and all of when they send honey, it's from sugar.
Oh, really?
That's really shit.
Yeah.
But we just gave it to the bees to so they have something to eat, right? Because we took their honey
for the
away.
winter. Is it more
For the winter?
Yeah.
And in the winter, when the winter was over, it was all gone.
No flowers. Yeah.
And then they start flying for the regular honey again from the flowers. And so why am I saying
because you were saying that was your plan.
Oh
when you
yeah,
came
that
to
was my
America.
plan. And so I came to the United States, and first thing I went to grocery store and look at the price of honey and price of sugar.
Yeah.
Because the sugar in Czech anyway, it was like fracture of the price of the honey, and the difference is your margin of profit.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, I came to the United States, and it was the same price.
It's sugar.
Sugar and honey, same price.
So you were like,
or very close.
There goes the enterprise.
There goes that plan. How and I completely abandoned that plan.
Yeah.
And then later on, I learned that the beekeepers are getting subsidies from government.
Okay.
So they're selling it relatively cheaply, but they get really paid by the government. That's why it was the same price.
I see.
So
keep the price down.
So I abandoned my intricate plan to be a beekeeper.
I don't know.
It was. I think that was a struggle when I came here just to figure out what to do.
The many facets of the conglomerate of Hans.
Yeah, it's just. We can make sometimes video on how I came to America.
But I think that's sort of the way things go. Sometimes you don't pick it, it picks you, kind of thing. You don't pick it, it picks you.
Yeah.
And you were
Well,
born.
I haven't washed dishes in Poconos.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't matter. I tell Hans, it's and you call me up, and it was after I tell this. There's a word for it because that movie Groundhog's Day, that homeless guy, it doesn't matter what he does, he dies.
Yeah.
He wants him to live.
Right.
So life is, sometimes I feel it doesn't matter what you do, it's gonna end up, that's sort of, I don't know, sometimes it just seems that way. And you call that what am I?
Fatalist.
Fatalist, yeah. It just seems like it's the way it's gonna go. I don't know.
Some people believe it's like that. There was a movie about that, about these kids who went on an airplane, and the airplane crashed on a takeoff. But they didn't get on the airplane because something happened, and they just missed the flight.
Okay.
And or actually, this one guy I think had a premonition or something. So like most of the kids didn't get on the plane. It was like a school trip, and some of them went and they got killed. And then the movie goes like they all die through the movie anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the ones who survive.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It just feels sometimes like you were meant to be a dog trainer, and that's
Yeah. I always loved dogs, man.
So
since I was a little kid, I was fascinated by them.
I always believe in you got to double down on what you love. You got to double down on it. Double down on it. Doesn't mean it's easy. I'm not saying that. That's that part that people leave out, but you got to double down on what you love.
Like in casino, huh?
Yeah, double down. I really believe that. Double down on
how many times you can double down.
Yeah, because too many people go, because they go to the next hottest thing and this and this and this, and they jump around, and they instead of doubling down on what they really loved, and stick with that.
You know what? I have to say that I never I would have never been sorry because I did something,
Yeah.
some kind of a business plan or something, get a job. I was only sorry if I didn't do things.
Yeah.
Right. I said
Your regret is only
maybe I should do that, and then I thought, well, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then I was sorry. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
But I was never sorry when I did something.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
So I will see. I'm gonna be sorry about these podcasts.
okay, so far it's been gaining more. Depending when someone might be listening to this, but more and more people are tuning.
Well, there's people, who I'm developing a hate fans, or what do you call it? And
That means people are seeing it.
yeah. There's this guy saying, Hans is so full of shit.
Oh.
He never slept in Wyoming in winter under the tree and all that. So, okay.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't. You didn't have your video GoPro camera. 1980.
Well, you know what? I had a regular camera, but you know what? I was, I was homeless. I was living in the mountains.
This is 1985
or 3 or whatever, somewhere there.
Yeah.
And I had these dogs, and I was worried how I'm gonna survive, and if there's gonna be a blizzard overnight and stuff. I wasn't about taking picture of that. It was no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't YouTube like today. Do something like, hey, I'm cold.
Yeah, now people go and have a GoPro and making videos how they roughing it,
I know,
but I was really roughing it, I mean, imagine you have nobody, I had few friends. They let me come to their house once a week and take a shower and stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I was out there, man, and oh God, it was so tough, and no, I didn't document it. I didn't even think of it, man.
Just survival. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, there were times like, am I gonna buy dog food, or am I gonna eat?
Yeah. I tell Hans, I go, if you would have had a like a phone or a GoPro, whatever little gadget, and you literally would document it just the way life. But I go,
but you know what? It's different if you do it like these reality shows, right? They go on some island somewhere and supposed to survive. What do they call it? Naked or whatever, right?
Afraid of naked.
Yeah, afraid of naked. It's all volunteer. They have a bunch of people waiting with helicopter to rescue them and shit. The doctors and all that, and checkups and all that. No, I had nothing.
Yeah.
I was just really there in the mountains, and it was 40, 50 below zero.
Yeah.
Right. And that I had no choice. That was it.
There's no choice. Yeah.
That was it, man.
Yeah. There was no.
And then I trained dog for Vice President of the United States.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes I'm listening to myself, and I said my stories sometimes are so crazy that, if I would not know that I actually did it, I wouldn't believe myself.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, you would, now you say, like, I wouldn't do that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Going down to Mexico, you said.
Yeah, with 5 dogs, same Bronco.
Yeah, same
Bronco.
It made it to Mexico.
Went to Baja nugget hunting, man.
Yeah.
With 6 dogs.
6 dogs.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And there was, we had a little camp there and all that, and we had this Mexican guy, Armando was his name, nice guy, man, and he helped us now and then, right? And he would, we needed some labor done or something like that. So he helped us, and we said, once we told him, hey, Armando, tomorrow we are gonna go prospecting over there, somewhere, right? And so we want you to be here like early at 7 o'clock in the morning. Can you be here? This is middle of nowhere, Mexico, Baja Peninsula, right? It's called Miramar Canyon. You can look it up on the map.
Okay.
And he didn't show up, and then he would, and then he wouldn't show up for next day, wouldn't show up, and then I was sleeping in this little 10-foot tiny trailer which looks like an egg, egg-shaped trailer. These old trailers.
Yeah. They may still make those. You said the name of it before.
I had 2 dogs with me, and suddenly somebody bangs on my door at 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I So what the, you're in the middle of Mexico. I mean, literally middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Scary, I mean. And so I open the door and there's Armando, right?
Yeah.
And I say, it's 2:00 at night.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, Armando, what's up? Oh, we gotta go get my truck. And I said, get your truck. Yeah. And he says, yeah, my truck died about 20 miles up the road. We gotta get it, just like you got me, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so I said, well, dude, come on, let's go sleep and we'll go in the morning.
Yeah.
And he said, no, we gotta do it right now. And I said, why? We just gotta get it right now. And I said, okay, So I got dressed myself and took my Bronco and we drove up there about 18, 20 miles on this horrible road. I mean, there were potholes. You can actually hide yourself in it.
Yeah.
There were giant holes in the road. Sometimes the road would leave the main so-called paved road and went through the desert.
If you enjoyed this content so far, please subscribe to our channel. Also, Hans has a podcast channel called Dog Training for Life. Check that out so you can listen to the audio version.
And there were like washes which completely washed the road, right?
Yeah. At night.
And you drive, and there is no like some kind of a warning. Suddenly there is a drop, like 15-foot drop into this wash, which got washed off. It was a hurricane. It was washed a few months ago. Before that, and we got to his truck, and it was all stolen, stripped. In middle of nowhere, at middle of night.
That's why he wanted.
And that's why he wanted to go back to the truck.
Yeah.
And so we. So I said, he says, it was his livelihood. It was like a 2-ton truck, a dump. And he was devastated, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking stripped, man. They took heads of the engine and steering wheel and transmission wasn't there. Everything, wheels were gone. Everything was gone. It was just like that frame and sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And I was so sorry for him, man.
Yeah.
So I gave him right to San Felipe because where he was from.
Uh-huh.
And 2 weeks later, Armando is driving his truck to a camp. And I said, Armando, did you get a new truck? And it was obviously his old truck.
Yeah.
And he says, no, that's my old truck.
Yeah.
And I said, so how did you manage this? And he says, well, there's only 2 junkyards in San Felipe. So I went to those junkyards and bought all my parts back.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, God, our stories, man. Anyway, I don't know how I got from Vice President of the United States to Armando in his truck.
When what somebody said.
But you know what? I was going down there, a lot. And I had like 6 dogs with me. And I was crazy, man. I can imagine something would happen with my truck. And you are 80 miles south into Baja Peninsula. You are like 120 miles from the border of the United States.
Yeah.
And this type of shit is happening over there.
Yeah.
And I remember we were driving with this guy. His name was Bill Hanks. He passed away. And we got stopped by these I don't know what the heck it was. It was some kind of official military Mexican. I don't know if it was federales or I have no clue what the heck it was, right? And they pulled us over, and they were little guys, man. Uh-huh. And it was heating summer, and they had these fur hats, or wool hats rather. I want to say. And I said, why is it cold? It's like 100 degrees. And Bill said, oh yeah, they're from south. They're from some state, Oaxaca. I don't know. Right? And there's much hotter there than here. So for them, 80, 90 degrees, it was just freezing cold for them, right? And they were a little guy, and they had these big rifles, right? I mean, not regular rifle for you, but for them, it was just huge, like a little child, right?
Yeah.
But they look scary, man. They look you right in the eyes and all that. You didn't know what the hell is going on, right? And so I remember Bill, he would just open door, and he said, hand me that 6-pack. He bought a bunch of 6-packs. Mm-hmm. And so he just opened the door and kind of put it down on the ground, the 6-pack. And the Mexican soldier just smile and wave us, we'll close the door, and we were driving away.
That's old school.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should sometimes talk about how it was in Mexico when I was doing gold mining, gold prospecting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that nugget, which I bought part of my property.
Yeah. No, you told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can put it on there. I have a picture of it.
Hans and his gold prospecting days. Well, no, I just thought the vice president story was good. Just interesting. It's not every day that you're gonna train, the vice president's dog or president's dog. I mean, so I hope everybody enjoyed the story. That's it. And if you want to learn from Hans how to train dogs, the obedience video is one of the. I believe it's really so good.
Yeah, it's the out of drive obedience.
Out of drive meaning no cookies or no toys. That's what that means basically. So because everybody's teaching with cookies and toys and Hans,
because they look pretty, but they're not reliable.
It's not reliable.
If you don't have a cookie, forget about it.
Yeah. So it's at so please visit alpinec9reel.com and the obedience videos on there. The personal protection.
Say it slowly. Alpine K9 Reel.
Not like fishing reel.
No, not fishing reel.
Not fishing reel. Realistic.
Yeah,
like
opposed to fake.
Yes, opposed to fake.
That was an unfortunate choice of.
That's okay. It doesn't matter what's Yahoo or what's Google anyway. So this silly name, so it doesn't matter what the name
Alpine K9 Reel, like realistic.
Yeah, realistic.com. He also has the personal protection video series on there. It's a 4-part video series if you want to teach your dog to be a true personal protection dog. And Hans also has a sort of a support with that if you purchase it.
Yeah, you call me and you send me video, I'll coach you. I coach some people in Australia right now. They're great people.
Yeah, so that comes with that. Also how to feed puppies raw, videos on there.
There's a bunch of videos. Just go look.
Yeah, go to Alpine K9 Reel, like realistic.com. Also, if you're looking for a puppy, if you want to purchase a puppy or a trained dog, Hans is your man. And these dogs come from the Czech Republic. So please, before you call Hans, understand they come from the Czech Republic. Hans doesn't have the dogs here. So people
anymore.
Can I look at them? Like people.
Yeah. Well, it's all right.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying
them
now so people can.
Yeah, they want Czech dogs, so they're coming from Czech Republic.
Yeah.
There's breeder in Nebraska and breeds Czech dogs. It's probably not Czech. It's Nebraskan dog.
Yeah. That could be a good episode too about that. So
yeah. All right.
All right. That's it, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Ahoy.